In the wake of Hurricane Milton, we know many Central Floridians are dealing with damage, loss, and questions surrounding assistance right now. So we are glad to have a senior official with FEMA with us to take questions from our viewers and from us here at News 6. Willie Nunn, thank you so much for joining us. You are actually in Tallahassee right now. Tell us, what exactly do you do with FEMA?
Well, my original job is the FEMA Regional Administrator for FEMA Region 10, Washington, Oregon, Idaho, and Alaska, and 271 federally recognized tribes. However, my senior FEMA official is the Port of Florida. I'm here on the ground on behalf of the FEMA Administrator to support the FEMA team and the state team here on the ground.
So, as you can imagine, we have a lot of questions for people in Central Florida affected by Hurricane Milton. One of the questions we have received multiple times is, does FEMA help with the cost of food loss? One person said they lost everything in their refrigerator and freezer due to a 4-day power outage. That is something that impacted a lot of people in our community.
Yes, a great question. In the initial start of the disaster impact, when it was declared, folks can call in and register either that online disasterassistance.gov, either the FEMA app, calling that 1-800-621-3362. And in that, if they lost food, if they needed baby formula, diapers, there's certain basic immediate needs, we have that one-time critical needs, serious needs assistance. Serious needs assistance, that's $750. Calling in and identifying that you have those type of needs, you can qualify for that. But as times change, as you evacuate from your home, you can use that for food as well. But as time changes, you evacuate from your home, or if you have loss of power, you continue to apply. Talk about your situation to us. Let us know where you are in this road back to recovery, and then you may qualify. The survivor may qualify for additional assistance.
So I do want to talk a little bit more about that because there is a lot of confusion, especially online on social media, about that $750 immediate assistance. FEMA provides several different levels of assistance. That $750 one is one of them, but that's not the only one that's out there. So clarify again for us, just in case there's any confusion, that $750, that's kind of just like the initial assistance that some people can receive.
Yes, and if you qualify for that, that's just that one-time initial. You're totally correct. And then as you go through the process, you may need, if you're separated from your home, don't have access to your home. At that point, you may qualify for rental assistance. And as you progress through and you can get back to your home, have access to your home, you may find you have damage to your home. We don't duplicate benefits from insurance, but beyond that, we can also, if you have damage, you will have a home inspector come out to your home, sponsored by FEMA. That person should come out and inspect your home. They don't give eligibility there, but they look at the damage of your home, and then we get back to the survivor on what they may be eligible for. And beyond that, there might be if you need temporary rental assistance in a hotel, or temporary housing somewhere. We have rental assistance. And if you're able to go to your home, even though it's damaged, but you're able to live there in a safe, secure, sanitary way, there's a $300 one-time assistance, $300 one-time assistance to help clean your home, to help get it ready for even more you can live in that home.
So I want to talk a little bit more about people who maybe sustained some damage from Hurricane Milton. Here in Central Florida, some people didn't actually have damage until days after the storm, and they dealt with flooding from nearby rivers or lakes that continued to rise. So if you did have flooding, or perhaps your roof was damaged or something like that, who do you contact first? Your insurance company, FEMA? What if you don't have flood insurance? Who should be the first person you call?
Well, to get the longer term fix is insurance, because we don't duplicate that. Definitely contact your insurance companies. But I would say if you're impacted by whatever impacts, whether it's the hurricane from Hurricane Milton, whether it's tornadoes from Hurricane Milton, or whether it was the river rising that flooded homes, contact us so we can determine with the survivor on what they are eligible for.
So if you do not have flood insurance and your home flooded, can FEMA assist you?
Yes.
In what way?
They, well, as far as the household that we can help with, that can be you can be helped by that by up to $42,500 is the cap on the that assistance. But there's also, if you need help beyond that, is what I talked about before, rental assistance or temporary housing if it's approved. That is beyond that. And then if you apply and qualify for that, we can help with that as well.
So if someone has registered with FEMA and has applied for assistance, but then received a denial letter, what should they do?
First of all, when we get any correspondence back from us from Hurricane Milton, is to read the entire correspondence. Because that correspondence, that letter may be asking for some additional information, whether you're applying for Milton or Helene, just to clarify, to make sure that you may have some personal identification that we may need to know, or any other documentation that we may have that we can talk to you about that could get that approval and eligibility move forward.
So continue, we touched on it a little bit earlier, talking about some of that misinformation that people may be seeing on the internet or on social media. There are all sorts of rumors that FEMA is out of money and cannot provide any sort of assistance. Another rumor is if you turn over that personal information to FEMA, what are some of the repercussions?
Well, the first one is absolutely not true. We have the resources, the funding, and we will be here for until we get the outcomes to get folks back on the road to recovery, to help those impacted by Milton, Helene, Debbie, even. And the other one about could you repeat the other
Some
rumor?
people are concerned about turning over some of their private information and what the consequences of that might be for them down the road, in terms of their property rights or things like that. I mean, it's all stuff that is going around on social media.
FEMA does not release the privacy of any of those critical information that personal information that delivered by folks. We only use that to make sure that we're talking to the right person that's been impacted, to verify after they get their home inspected, if that's a part of it. It's only used for verification and not for anything else.
Here in Florida, as you know, we have a lot of new residents, people who have moved here from all around the country. This is their first time ever experiencing a natural disaster like this. I happened to live here back during the 2004 hurricanes in a community in Northwest Florida that was heavily devastated by Hurricane Ivan. And I think what some people can often be surprised by is how long it may take to get some type of resolution, whether it's from your insurance company or from FEMA. In terms of a timeline or a time frame, what can you tell people?
Each person, as you kind of stated there, are impacted differently when they are impacted by disaster. Well, it's not everybody starts at the same place. It's depending on what the needs are. If the needs are for housing, that may a temporary, a longer term, that may take a little bit longer. If you just need that first push to jumpstart you to get out of that bad environment to get to a safe place, that could be done quickly if we can get online or get on a call in to register. So it's not a one size fit all the time. But if it's a heavily impacted area where the public infrastructure and homes are damaged, that can take long-term recovery.
I know FEMA just opened some new relief offices in Central Florida. Are there plans to open more, and how long do those typically stay open?
Yes, we're in coordination with the state and the locals in each county that was impacted, looking at what is the right place to put those disaster recovery centers. What I mean by right place, to get to most people, to get to people where they are. And we're looking before Milton, we had 10 open. We've been up to 16, and we continue to have more. We're looking at having coordinating with the locals to having disaster recovery centers in places where we have the most impact and where we have coordinated entry with the locals as well.
Is there anything else you would like to share with people in Central Florida about FEMA and what it can and cannot do in our community and your overall work here?
Well, FEMA, I would say this, FEMA comes at the invitation of the state, as the governor the request for a major disaster declaration. And we work with the state, we work with the county, we work with the locals. And it's important that we work with them because those locals, the counties, they already have the trust. We have to gain that trust as we come in. And folks should know we're coming in with the state, with the locals to help them. And as Milton has passed through the last few days, I would say this, it's not over. The floodwaters are still there. Continue to contact your local officials if you need them, because we're working with them. As you contact them, we're working with them to make sure we provide the assistance that FEMA can provide and helping the locals to get back to where they need to be.
All right, Willie Nunn, a senior FEMA official, thank you so much for spending some time with us today and clarifying some of those issues for our viewers.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for being a partner.